Okay, I've done this before, but I think I'm just gonna do it again because, well, most people have heard of this game, but they don't actually know too much about this game. This is Guilty Gear, the Guilty Gear series as a whole. This Guilty Gear in particular is Guilty Gear XX Reload, which can also be purchased on the Xbox Live's arcade, or if you have a PlayStation 2 or a PSP, you can also do that as well. However, this game is fucking amazing, and I love it. And for some of you that play these Dojin fighters, or perhaps picked up BlazBlue and then heard little remnants of this game, well, now you're going to know where BlazBlue came from. So, I'm just going to cut to the story and start playing and giving some people, an idea of what made this game so amazing and why it should come back, because I love it and it's amazing and technical, and it's got a metal soundtrack and all these other things that most games don't usually have in fighters. So that's why I'm here. If you're watching this video and you're wondering what the hell is Guilty Gear, like you're just getting into the fighting scene, or you played BlazBlue and you're like, BlazBlue is a spiritual successor to Guilty Gear. What's Guilty Gear? Well, we're doing that right now. So, the game's pretty simple, but it can get pretty hard if you want to be like a boss. You got your arcade mode, your MOM mode, which is like you go through a survival-based mode, but you're also ranking up a certain number of combos and collecting medals and shit. Basically, what MOM stands for, it spells mom, but it stands for Medal of Millionaire, if I'm correct. I don't know, it's just like, collecting medals and shit. 2 players versus CPU, your training, your survival, which goes all the way up to level 1000, which is insane. Missions, which are also very insane as well. They put you up through, impossible odds and weird-ass tests that, you have to survey. Story mode goes over every character's story. Now, the story can be a little confusing, but, it's there. Every fighting game has a story, regardless if it's any good. Gallery, where you can look at all the shit you've unlocked, and you've got your options in Xbox Live. However, at this point, it's not working anymore. They discontinued the Xbox Live function for Guilty Gear if you bought it, or if you're playing on original Xbox. They stopped it April 15, 2010, so you can't play online with people. But then again, why would you? So yeah, might as well just go to training. Now, unless you're not into the whole, Eastern influence style anime, whatever, then you might not like it. However, if you are a hardcore enthusiast in fighters or whatever, then you might like it, because the game is very in-depth, especially with the characters' movesets and the combat in general. So, that's something to always be considered of, and everybody's always, taken into consideration for, those big tournaments and all those other things. So yeah, well, I'm going to pick a character that probably everybody picks in the beginning, unless you're like me, who generally picks him because, he's fucking amazing. I like him. Saw Bad Guy. This is probably the main protagonist. And his eternal rival, Kai Kisuke. But I'm not going to pick him. Might as well just pick Tao. Or as I know, Melia Rage. Long ass hair. So, I'm just going to go into training right now and show some things that people might want to not see or not see. Once again, this is like pretty much all hand-drawn animation right here, but then again, we're all used to that from Street Fighter to Darkstalkers, if you know it, you name it. Very simple system, you've got a punch, a kick, a slash, and a heavy slash. Slash meaning like, the heavy weapons. But of course, not everybody always has weapons, but, if you have a weapon like Soul, then, you do that functionalities. Moves and such are pretty simple. In this game, you have a backdash and you also have a run, which can also be, pretty cool. Most Street Fighter games don't have runs; they have dash, and people usually say how, like, the dash has a certain level of controlled space, especially when you're dashing back. But I've always loved the run. People complain like, "Oh, well, the run makes things easier," or you're like, even when you stop running, you're still going in motion, you might get hit. Well, I mean, if you're gonna let yourself get hit, then sure, motherfucker. But come on. So here's what we're gonna do instead. I'm just going to go over basic moves for my character, and maybe I'll just do some other stuff later. I mean, moves are pretty simple. You've got your Hadouken motion, punch, whatever. You've got your Dragon Uppercut has arcane motion. I mean, stuff like that. You can even do simple combos like this. 1, 2, 3. You know, it gets pretty, you know, simple, but it can also get pretty intense. Like, you know, you need to do your wall combos and exploit your character's, you know, glitch tactics that may seem cheap, but I mean, hell, if you're gonna win, you're gonna win, right? I mean, for instance, my character's Soul has, you know, a forward punch right here that knocks him down and also bounces him off the wall, but at the same time, if you follow it up with a down high slash, and then if you can keep going there, you can go into something called Dust Loop, which I'm not going to be able to do because I'm playing on an Xbox 360 controller, and it's not recommended to be playing hardcore fighting games with it, unless, you know, you're used to it and the shitty D-pad, then please be my guest. Not that the analog stick is any, you know, bad, but I mean, if you want to play fighting games, I'd stick to a pad, PS3 base, one of those cool game pads, or just get a fucking stick. But yeah, that combo, let's see, maybe I can do it, I don't know. 1, 2, oh, see, I went to SRK. It has to be forward, down, see, can't even do it on this, it won't come out, unless I'm doing it too slow, or, bleh. There we go. Problem solved. I mean, you can do more shit too, but, I mean, there's no regen audio, so I can't really, I mean, regenerative health, so I can't really do too much, but you get the idea. There's also one button I also forgot to mention too, but, you know, people don't usually use it unless, you know, there are characters unique to that. It's called the dust button, and it does this. Well, at least when you're standing. It differs from every character, but for me, it's basically a launcher, you know, like an instant, oh, look, I'm in the air, I'm doing all this crazy shit, whatever. But, you know, at the same time, if you're down and doing this, it can, like, end a combo or just, like, knock them down, and then you can, like, set yourself up for something else, come back in, do the whole little shebang. Yeah, most of these combos aren't even very advanced either, you know, but it's just an example. So, yeah, let's see. Like I said, the dust could also have different properties. There's the dust loop, obviously, for people who use Soul. I mean, I'm not sure if people can do it as great as they did in Reload or in the other earlier Guilty Gears, because everybody plays by Accent Core Plus standards, but I still love Reload. I'm sure a lot of people do, especially the announcer. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, actually, that's not pretty much it. There's what you would call fatality, or, you know, finishers. And in this case, you know, you would install your character. Now, this is also another risky thing too. It's not going down because I'm in training, but it will go down depending on how much tension you have, in that case your hypermeter, and you only get one shot to use your finisher, and it's more, say, people call it as a gimmick. However, you know, if you want to show off or whatever, yeah. The only problem is that, I'll show you. For instance, Napalm Down. Yeah, and it kills your opponent instantly. However, it's not really recommended to, like, base your whole game around setting up for it, but if you want to show off, sure, but nobody really does that in tournaments or in high level play. But it's really just a way of showing off, because let's say you screw up, I install right now, and then I do it, it doesn't hit. In regular mode, since I'm in training, your tension would be gone. You wouldn't have anything to do, any roaming cancels or any hypers or supers or whatever, so use it wisely. I mean, if you're playing casually, sure, but I wouldn't recommend it doing in high level play. But yeah, I mean, of course, if you're not just playing Blaze Pro, then I guess that's fine too. So yeah, and his supers. Oh, did I grab that? Let's try this again. Okay, there's his Tyrant Rave, which works pretty well, especially when you're in combos or want to catch something off guard, or maybe not. Better to connect, but whatever. I'm not doing too much advanced combos. I'm just going over the basics. Another thing I can go over is probably roaming canceling, if I can still do that. Nope. Graph too close. Let's see. Roaming canceling. Yeah. See how that little red thing went there? That's for canceling. Roaming canceling in this case. And if you're not familiar with what canceling is when you are in the middle of a move and then you cancel into another move. You cancel. It's pretty fucking obvious. The only thing here is that with roaming canceling, you're using about half of your meter to go into another move or to continue them. Now, for So Bad Guy's play, it's really, really good for him, especially when you want to continue damaging. You know, with more combos, or, you know, you're doing that, say, like that. More so, let's say you're going into, like, Volcanic Viper, you're up in the air, and you want to do another one, say, like that. There you go. And that's by, I believe, pressing heavy slash heavy and kick, or the other way around. I don't know, it's just preset on the Xbox controller. But roaming cancels can be really important in your game. Say it's simple. I mean, I can go more technical, but they are pretty important in there. And in BlazBlue, you probably know them as rapid cancels. Same thing, just a different name, but they're pretty much the same thing. And that's just about it. Oh, and the last thing. Oh, my favorite move. However, you know, it doesn't always seem to go my way when I'm in the mode, is his Dragon Install. This buffs the shit out of Soul's moves. Like, did you see that? The only thing here is that it only lasts for a certain amount of time, and then after that, you know, you're pretty much staggered. Say, I'll go through it right now. You know, most of your moves are amplified. It's just nuts, but, you know, you gotta use it wisely, because then this happens. That little moment where you are staggered on the ground like that, that could cost you a whole match. It could cost you a lot of fucking damage, so you don't want to do that. But, you know, Soul I wouldn't say is too much the best character in the game. I mean, he's good for beginners, but, you know, if you're gonna go into high level play, you have to learn his, you know, doing the dust loop thing, you know, playing a certain way, roaming canceling the right way. I mean, most people are probably just gonna stick to Eddie and Slayer and all those other characters, but, you know, this is just who I play, and he fits my preference, so I'm sticking to that. So yeah, I think I pretty much went over everything. I might do some more videos, but I figured I'd make this as one of my first streams. So yeah, until then, I'll be doing more of these. So, destroyed. So yeah.